Hello, and thank you for taking the time to watch this short video on a matter of great importance. For some, it is literally the difference between life and death. I'm Penny Bailey. I served 24 years in the United States Air Force and retired as a colonel. I've been married for 40 years, and my husband retired as a colonel after serving 30 years in the United States Air Force. And between the two of us, we have seen many and very different situations. But we feel blessed to have had the opportunity to serve our country alongside the wonderful men and women that served in civilian capacity as contractors and in every military branch of service. But I come to you today to give a voice to some of our military families, which entails the military spouse, former military spouses, and military children, whom through no fault of their own have no voice. You see, the military's family serves beside our military men and women. They too have to have courage. They have to have the courage to move from one place to another as the military sends our families all over, from communities to different countries. And they have to carry on life as usual when that military member is called to go to another area and serve, maybe for a few months, maybe for years. It is the military spouse that keeps that family going as they muster the strength to carry on life as usual while that military member is away. But on some heartbreaking moments, when at home and that military member returns, they might act in an unfamiliar and in dishonorable ways, to the point of possibly abusing or abandoning the ones that love them the most, their families. This will be hard to hear and even harder to understand, but our military spouses can, and sometimes do, find themselves homeless, destitute, and sometimes in grave danger. Worse, they have no place to go, because if they turn to the civilian community and resources to ask for help, well, once they find out that that's a military family, they send them back to the base because they say they don't have the resources to care for the local community as well as the military members' families. However, when the military spouse returns to the base, what they find is that the commanders are told not to get involved in domestic issues. And I agree with that policy, as it is the commander's responsibility to take care of the military mission. But that leaves our military family in a downward spiral. And then they'll have no access to legal counsel or to mental health or to health care. Sometimes the situation can even become fatal. As in January of 2022, we had 3 of our military spouses killed by their husbands in a span of only 2 weeks. These families were from different services and in different locations, but all had the same fatal outcome. One spouse even started asking for help in January, but none came. She died on the side of a highway in Hawaii at the hand of her military husband. Unfortunately, these are not isolated incidences. Something as simple as protective orders, confidentiality, and other preventive measures could have saved the lives of our military families. However, they have no voice. And because of this, some have lost their lives. That is why I agreed to join and become president of the National Military Family Advocacy Organization. I know it's a lot, so we just shorten it to NMFAO. We are a nonprofit advocacy organization that is dedicated to advocate on behalf of the military families to ensure that they have the support and the protection they need to survive when there's abandonment and abuse. Our ask is not for millions of more dollars to go into another federal program, but to advocate for the reorganization of some programs that are already in existence to help the military families survive. This is why the National Military Family Advocacy Organization is introducing the Military Family Protection Act. This bill provides some modifications and minor changes through legislation to protect and defend our military families. The military family should be acknowledged as a treasure of this country, as they are the first line of support for our military members. They are the ones who shoulder all the responsibilities of home and family, which allows our military to focus on their mission of defending our country. It is past time for our country to provide for the defense and the welfare of our military families. The National Military Family Advocacy Organization has drafted this bill to advocate for our nation's military families, which will provide the support that the family needs during some of the worst times in their lives. Please help us by sponsoring and supporting this bill. It can literally save lives. This is a public health crisis for our nation, and it must be treated with urgency and made a priority before we lose more military spouses. You can make a difference. You can even save lives by simply supporting this Military Family Protection Act. So I thank you again for taking the time to watch this video, and please reach out to NMFAO, the National Military Family Advocacy Organization, for any questions that you might have, and if we can be of any assistance to you, we would be glad to do so. So thank you again for taking the time to watch this video, and may God bless you, our military families, and this amazing country. Thank you.